Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with day 3 of our road trip down memory lane. And day 1, night 1, I guess, we spent the night in Tennessee. Day 2, we drove through, out of Tennessee, through Kentucky and into Ohio and arrived at Cincinnati late. So the next day was the day that we explored Cincinnati. We went to the zoo. And we went to the American Sign Museum. The great thing about John doing the driving was that I could kind of Google attractions and things. We knew we were going to a baseball game in the evening, but during the day we kind of I wanted to go to the Cincinnati Zoo and in solidarity with their the problems that they had recently to when we were there, and I kind of felt bad for them. And it was an amazing zoo, really a beautiful place. And then we found this place kind of in the spirit of finding balls of twine everywhere. And I'll give you a little bit on the origin of that term in a minute. But we found a place called the American Sign Museum, and it's filled with all those signs. Like this is the big boy sign. It's Frisch's big boy, and where I lived, we had Kip's big boy, and it had all of the old, and it kind of gave you a history of signs, how they were constructed, and how they were filled with gases that lit them up, and it's just amazing. And I guess neither of us realized how many of those signs we'd grown accustomed to when we were kids and driving around with our parents, but we hardly, had noticed that they were gone. And I suppose this brought it back. I mean, I could have spent all day in here. We were there 2 or 3 hours, and we just walked around, and this is probably the worst photo. It was very blurry. And then of course printing it, I filtered it to bring out the colors and the lights. I have a filter that does that. And then I printed it on paper that allowed the ink to bleed. So it's even more abstract and cartoon looking than it was intended to be. And then we went to the ballpark, and there were lots of, kind of baseball memorabilia, and there was a kind of a Pete Rose museum there. And so we got there very early, and we spent a lot of time looking around. And this photo, we took an amazing number of bad selfies. Selfies were not our thing. And even though John had the longer arms, he was even worse than I was. So I'd hold my arm out and take a selfie. And I was trying to get the Cincinnati Zoological Garden sign in the shot, and it just didn't happen. You can see Arden. So it's not much. And the filter is what's making my teeth look yellow. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I took this photo. This is really a beautiful photo in its natural form, and I did scrap it before, smaller. But I had in mind when I printed these photos, and I did them before I did this one, that the way the filter colored them, they would look good on Kraft paper. So I kind of had that notion. And then I went back and I thought, well, can I do another page with this photo? What I decided to do was print it at about 70% opacity. So it's kind of like you've got a net in front of it or something, so that these would pop. And there's nothing interesting going on. It was early and there was nobody in the stands. I like this part, so I thought I'd just kind of cover that part up. So anyway, I also figured that since we're getting nostalgic about the American Sign Museum, I thought I would pull out my Are We There Yet ephemera from Stephen Duncan, who is, to me, not only one of the best scrapbook stuff designer, but he's just an extraordinary human being, and I just love him to pieces. But I've thought that I'm gonna cut this this logo out with the car packed up, and then Adventure Awaits, and Are We There Yet? And I thought I might use that as a title, or at least an embellishment on one of my pages for this road trip. So anyway, I pulled a few of his things, and I'm actually going to let this piece of his be my title piece. And I'm mixing that up with Mind the Scrap goodies from, and it's amazing how well these journal bits from Trail Mix go. This, it says outdoors this way, and I thought I could probably use those things. And then I've got a couple tags from there. And I have a couple of sticker sheets that I'm almost finished with that are in a group of embellishments that I was going to use for a travel, lots of different travel things. And they've been in my Mind the Scrap kits almost since day one, and they're kind of off to the side, and I'd sort of forgotten about them. So yes, I confess, I have so much stuff, I often forget about it. I'm trying to figure out where this cork thing is. I like cork and Kraft together. And I have these things. Okay, there. I have an exclamation point, an arrow, the awesome and love it. I may use at least one of those. And then I need leaves for the Mind the Scrap Summer Challenge. And so I may pick one of these floral elements from this Little Dreamer puffy sticker set. And so we'll see where we go. But the first thing I'm going to do, because the paper I chose to be my base, that it's not going to play a very big role here because we're going to kind of cover it up. I chose it because it goes so well with John's shirt and all the other colors that came out in there. It's from a Simple Stories collection called Retro Summer, so it kind of fits in with the retro nostalgic stuff we have going on. But it has little plus signs, I guess what I was trying to say. So I'm gonna stencil on some plus signs in each corner. I think that's not really very imaginative because I just did that on another page. I stenciled something in the corner, and it was a different image, but let's see what we got here. There we go. Okay. Those are not as clear, but that's all right. I'm going to put that aside because I know I'm going to use it again. It has arrows and plus signs, all kinds of little images that I like. That is a Scrap-A-Sketch stencil. And I'm just going to kind of slap this on. Come on. There we go. Try to make sure that I'm getting it parallel because in this case it actually does count. And I might slide that under there. I was going to have it come down a little bit, but I think I'll slide it under because I want as much of that paper to show as possible. Does that Does that look about right? Okay, so I've got this. Get on the roads, see the sights. You know what? This all needs to go down. Let me see if I can do that. Because I have some things I can just go ahead and layer this right further down in the sky there. Let's build this little top part first because I'm the most excited about it. Because I found this that looks like one of those old-timey signs that we might have seen in the American Sign Museum. If you're ever in Cincinnati, check it out. It's worth the stop. In fact, what we did on this trip, and this is the trip where we discovered Uber. And what we would do is we would drive in, park our car at the hotel, and then getting around town back and forth to the baseball stadiums or to any of the sightseeing destinations, we Ubered. We decided that we were not going to drive and worry about parking and, go through all that hassle because we were driving from point A to point B. And once we got to point B, we wanted to get out and explore and enjoy point B. So we Ubered. I downloaded the Uber app, and very first destination we ever went on Uber was to the Cincinnati Zoo. I didn't even know how to operate. I didn't even know how to call an Uber. So I kind of want to do that. I think I may need more. Let's finish the top. I've got this piece that I fussy cut a floral out of, and I kind of want to just use it. I want to insert it. And this is from that trail mix stuff. I just want that green. I want to, adding that round shape kind of, offsets some of these other shapes, and it fills in this area, and it gives us that green color that repeats this green color, which is very different from this green color there, but who cares? Let's see. If I arrange this like so, I kind of want to leave that. So if I arrange this there and this one that way and this way, or I could put these symbols in between. Let's see how it would work if I did that and then something like this, because this eat sign kind of looks like a sign we might have found in there. And then we do this and this. That's not good spacing, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it this way. I may skip the ampersand this time. And I think I'm just going to put these. Let me just do this. I put the foam tape in the center so that I can underlap or overlap as the mood hits me. This one I'm going to overlap for sure. And because the tape's in the center, this can overlap because it'll bend it down. If I want to underlap, which I may do with this one. overlapping here and putting it at a slight angle. I'm going to underlap here, also putting it at a slight angle. Okay, now I'm going to do the eat sign kind of up and facing, pointing in, and then I'll do the Gilmore gas. And then I need something right here, but I'm sure I can find, maybe that's where I'll put my flowers, or I could put them up there. Let's just get these things down. And this leaves, and I'll go up with that too. This leaves some of this pretty paper showing. There, and then let me get this big cluster of flowers. I wasn't sure if I'd use a big one or this little small one. Either one of those would work to give me the leaves I need. Let me kind of scooch that under like so. That bright red color and the pink kind of pick up colors here. This is not the same collection. It's not the same color scheme. There are a million reasons why it doesn't go per se, but it works. It doesn't go, but it works. And I think there's something in here. I would like to use this, The Book of Us, but it's maybe too big. There was something I wanted to use on here and thought I could, but I'm not seeing it. The reason, well, you know what? Who cares? I could do this, right? I could lift that up and kind of put that under, right? Who's gonna tell me I can't? I kind of am not a big believer in everything having to be matchy-matchy. There are some lines I won't cross, but for the most part, if it's I'm going to cut a little bit of that off so that it slides a little bit more under there so I don't have quite as much showing. Okay, there we go. That's in there, and it doesn't and I could get a little bit more neutral in my color scheme by putting that right there. And I'm going to use this little, it's pink binoculars. And we did get a small pair of binoculars to share during the baseball games so that we could see up close. And I've got this is a vellum sticker, and I think I'm going to put this right here. It's a little speech bubble, and the photo shows through, and it's pointing at John and saying love. So just silly, but fun. I'm going to do my overlapping hearts. I have some bramble fox hearts somewhere. I didn't get them out. flowers, leaves. There's a fabric heart, stars. Ooh, there's a white heart. Okay, let me put these back. And of course I've got the sticker stuck to the tip of my finger. And that's okay. I'm still looking over at that ampersand, trying to figure out a way I could get it in. And I'm gonna peel the bramble fox heart. And where do I want to put it? Maybe I'm not having very much luck at this. And I can't exactly do my thing of showing you where it's gonna go and leaving it there because there's a sticker involved. Okay, so I've got both sides peeled, and what I thought I'd do is put this down and overlap it with that. And I'll do that right there so that it's got the gold. And then this white not only will contrast in color, but it will, it's thick, so it's going to kind of stick out. So that brings some of the pure white that we have down here up here into this area. And I like the awesome and the love it, but I don't see a spot on here that they should or could or would go. I may, let's do a check of what I need. Leaves I have here, green, there's green in the outdoor sign, outdoor photos, this one, and this one are outdoor. Stenciling, 2 tags, and I've used both the June and July kits. I like, well, you know what? I'm going to use some of the smaller bits here. I'm going to put I'll put this red one maybe down here. And then I'm going to go get some sequins, which might seem like the last thing that you would want to use on a retro sort of page, but sequins are kind of, you can't get much more retro than 20s sequined dresses, right? So I just realized that one's purple. Who knew? Okay, let me get my tweezers, and we're just going to put 2 sequins, and they're going to be different. Same color, but different. And they're repeating the background color of that strip of paper, as well as the blue that's in the sky. And here, I'm going to use a small one there, and a big flat one right. Got glue everywhere, but it will dry clear and flat with a matte finish, so everything's going to be okay. And up here, I'll go with a small one there. And a regular sized one here. Okay, I think I'm done with the page, and this guy really doesn't need to be there, but hopefully I can use him again. And I also want to check and see if any of my little pressed wood words would be good here. Like here's explorers. I kind of like that. Let's see how this works. I, as you can tell, haven't used any of these before. And I don't even know how to get them out of the... what I'm doing is kind of just breaking the holder, the background packaging there. And then I'll put that aside, and then maybe I can get it down like this. I should have maybe done this off camera, but part of what I do with you guys is show my ignorance and learn along the way. And I get, if I fumble with something like I'm fumbling with this, I know that any of you that have learned this lesson, figured this out, will probably, I know you'll message me. I get so many messages that cause me to say, duh, there's a little bit that I need to punch out of there. I need to do a little weeding here. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here and just kind of tamp it down right there. And I think that's gonna work. Let me kind of get some of the glue off of it. I like little things like that, and I like adding word strips, and I'm kind of running low on word strips in the stuff that's right on my desk at the moment. So I also have a commitment to use something from my, I'm going to call it my bag of tricks. It's, speaking of word strips, it's this pile of stuff. There was a much, much larger pile of stuff that I culled this from. So I can see in here are a bunch of little word strips. So I'm going to go hunting in there. My commitment is to use something from this on every page for as long as my kit is alive. And my kit is a 6-month kit, so I created it the 1st of July. And so it's going to last to the end of the year. I've got this little lime green thing that says remember that I could kind of tuck in right there. I kind of like that. You know, I like lime green, and I'm just gonna kind of squeeze it in right there and let it curl up. Okay, look at this. This is an acetate thing. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That doesn't apply to this road trip. Okay, so let me put all these things away. I'm happy with this page. I think this page represents the day very well because it was a busy day. You know, we took the Uber to the zoo, and then we went from the zoo to the museum here, and neither at the zoo nor at the American Sign Museum was there any place to eat, and that's why this eat sign is big. So we decided when we were done here to just go straight to the stadium because we knew we could get something to eat there. So here we were exploring and then eating and then watching the game. So it was great, and I'm sure I didn't photograph anything with a pink camera, but here it is. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to day 4 with you. I'm not even sure what day 4 is. Probably going to be driving to Kansas City. Or no, St. Louis. St. Louis is our next stop. So thanks for watching. Bye.